If we, as a country here in America, don't stop and begin proactively programming our own minds, our minds will be programmed for us. Now, I'm not sure if any important person historically said this, but does that make it any less true? Some ask, Florida Monkey, why do you talk about psychological operations all the time? Because they're the fundamental basis of controlling society. If you can't tell by now that society is being programmed, then you have been perfectly programmed. I'm going to show you something today in this video that is going to shock a lot of people. It truly is. It's going to make people sit down and go, wait a minute. This can't be true. I am already in control of my mind. Why do I believe this? It's truly something that will change the direction of your life if you accept it. How many of you know what engagement farming is versus, say, clickbait? You see, when there's a post online, the idea of clicking on it and looking at it is one thing. But then to go to that next level and say, I like it, I dislike it, I'm going to make a comment saying this, that, or the other about it. You see, that's the next level. That's how you know that perhaps you've been programmed, especially if it's something that's not really relevant to you. Engagement farms. They're the new form of psyops out there, and they make you inherently believe things, not even consciously being aware of it, that just aren't true. They're assumptions. And I'm going to give you a perfect example in today's video. How many of you remember, some of you might not know who this is if you're not into music. Last July, Miranda Lambert accidentally stumbled into the difference between clickbait and engagement farming. Whether she intended to or not, something happened that changed the entire direction of her career. Now, real quick, we're going to talk about this here today on YouTube, but it's primarily what we talk about over the Florida Monkey Patreon channel. 4 levels over there. We've got a real big group. God bless all of you so much for being there. We've had that channel now going all the way back to, I think it's 2018, 17, talking about the basic fundamentals of psychological operations, 24 cognitive biases, 24 logical fallacies that affect every single person. You understand them, you memorize them, you see how they're used, and then you go out into the world and say, oh my God, now I see them everywhere. And it's how people are manipulated. And here's the best part. If you go over there, you sign up, support the Florida Monkey. If it's not for you or you run into some financial issues, no problem. Happens to everybody. It's a fully refundable pledge for the first 90 days. Here it's the beginning of February. So February, March, April, it'd be what? Wow, it would be almost summer. It'd be almost summer again before you would risk really losing any money. So God bless. You could sure use your help these days. Let's get right into it. What happened with Miranda Lambert? Okay. For those of you real quick who don't know who Miranda Lambert is, she's a country star. Been around, I'm guessing probably got to be close to 20 years now. She came on the scene. She was kind of young, very edgy. Basically the kind of almost like rock and roll meets country kind of girl. And she had a new sound to her that really kind of was a departure. But as she's, gone through her career, she's faced some trials and she's struggled with her weight a little bit. She's a very, very average, normal girl. I think that's a lot of her draw. But the point is, she was at this concert in Seattle and she's walking down the stage and all of everybody who's watching her is at literally foot level where she was walking the stage, where they're standing is below. And she had this skirt on and it looks like she just had it pulled up a couple inches too high. And when she walked by, you could just see the very bottom edge of her rear end if you really look close, and now not that that's necessarily that big of a deal. Why? Well, if you want to, hold on here. If you want to go to the internet and you want to see pictures of Miranda Lambert, she had gone out and she had worked out and lost a ton of weight and was seen, I forget where this was. She was running around in a bathing suit. Skinny as can be. And you can find all sorts of pictures all over the internet of Miranda Lambert in varying states of dress that were a lot more revealing than what happened at this concert for 5 minutes. Now, what's the difference here and why is it important? You see, this drew a lot more attention to her career than her music did. Why? Because it caused people to engage. Meaning, did she know her rear end was hanging out? Did she not know her rear end was hanging out? Should somebody have stopped? Should the person who posted the video of her rear end hanging out be taken off of X or taken off of was it TikTok? Yeah. It started this buzz. It started this yap about something that was irrelevant to the music. It was engagement farming. And she was shocked by it. She was really shocked by it, but she, benefited from it greatly. Now, what if I told you this is exactly what has happened with Epstein? Brand new group of photos, files just got dropped, and the story now is 180 degrees from where it started. Now, before anybody reacts emotionally and starts typing, let's take a breath, and let's remember what was the original story. The original story was that Jeffrey Epstein, being a Mossad agent for Israel, had this island. He's a billionaire, and he had this predilection for, some say children, some say younger women. But here was the real crux of the story. The story was he had this place out there where he would bring in all of these high-powered people, executives and politicians from all over the world. And he had secretly hidden cameras. Remember this? Secretly hidden cameras all throughout this island, these buildings, so that he could catch these powerful people in compromising positions with young girls and then blackmail them. This is what allegedly was going on, that he was doing this to blackmail all of these people with these hidden cameras everywhere. Remember? Remember that part of the story? Now, let's look at the pictures. Does this picture look like it's from a hidden camera? No. This is clearly some type of a terminal. It looks like it's the terminal at the airport at St. Martin. Bill Clinton and a girl who's definitely younger, but not really a child. But not a hidden camera. Does this picture look like it's taken from a hidden camera? No. Why? It's outside. The woman is clearly looking directly at the camera. Posing for pictures. Stephen Hawking. Two girls who are not children. Looking directly at the camera. And here's the best part. Epstein himself is in this picture. Show me the pictures from the hidden cameras. Show me any picture where it looks like the people being photographed are unaware of the camera. They don't exist. There's not a single picture that has been released from the Epstein files that shows anyone who is unaware of the camera. And Epstein himself is in most of them. Here's him sitting, looks like outside in the morning, and there's a girl eating cereal sitting on his lap. Does this look like it's from a hidden camera? And if Epstein was working for Mossad to blackmail people, where are those pictures? This is from the penthouse, I believe, in New York. Posing for the pictures. Smiling. If anybody here thought they were doing something that they could be blackmailed for, why would they be smiling and staring directly at the pictures? The girls smiling, staring directly at the pictures. And it gets even better. And then now people, in an attempt to engagement farm, are now putting up nonsense. This one says, another video emerges from the Epstein files. Who is the man seen at the end? That's just an enticement to get you to watch the whole video. But in the very first frame of the video, there's a 3-story hotel in the background. It's not even from Epstein Island. It's just random people at the beach or near a pool. There are no 3-story hotels on Epstein Island. Here's another one that says, grabbing a little girl in his kitchen. It shows Jeffrey Epstein's climbing on the counter, and he's pretending to chase some blacked out figures around the bar, the island in the middle of the kitchen. It's about as wholesome a video as you could ever want to see. He doesn't get anywhere near any of the figures who are blacked out, so you don't know whether they're full grown or not. Here he is, fully clothed, side of looks like a swimming pool, little girl in a floaty, and looks like he's giving her a cookie. About as wholesome as you can get. But you see, what does the programming say? Let's stop for a minute. What does the programming say? See, you've been programmed to already believe the man is a vicious, horrible, nasty pedophile based on zero evidence other than somebody just saying, okay, you need to now believe he's a pedophile. Now, look at all of these pictures in the context of knowing he's a pedophile. See, if you hadn't already been told that the man back here in front of the jet was a pedophile, you wouldn't think anything of this picture, would you? You wouldn't think a thing of it. But because the government programmed you to believe the man was a pedophile without any proof at all, every picture now comes with that colorization, that context. But there are no pictures from any hidden cameras. Here's another one from Piers Morgan and Brett Ratner having a conversation. Apparently, he visited Epstein Island. The picture here in the lower right is Brett Ratner, Jeffrey Epstein, and two girls with their faces blacked out. One of the girls is Brett Ratner's fiance. This is Rebecca Gayheart. And both girls here are clearly adults. But everybody ignores it. Everybody ignores that fact. They automatically assume the worst. And here's the thing. Most of these pictures, almost all of them, come from an era of about 1998 to about 2002, 2003. About a 5-year period. Rebecca Gayheart was born in 1971. In 1971. That would make her right now 54. Well, she's younger than me, 54 years old. Meaning at that time, she would have been 28, 29, 30, 31 years old. Not even close to a child. Here's another one. Ed Krasenstein, big blue check mark on X. This video from the Epstein files appears to be taken on an island, perhaps Epstein Island. In it, the DOJ attempted to redact a man's face, but failed. Does anyone know who this man is at the end of the video? Once again, engagement farming. When you look at the beginning of the video, it shows a giant mountainous island that's got literally 100 houses on it. Little St. James Island couldn't fit 100 houses. This is clearly not anywhere near Epstein Island. But what do? This is engagement farming. This is programming. You see, you automatically assume the guy's a pedophile because he was convicted of solicitation of prostitution, not a pedophile. What about Ghislaine Maxwell? Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of basically getting the prostitutes, of being a madam. That's all those two people have ever been convicted of. Him paying girls for sex and her getting him girls to pay for sex. And by girls, I mean young women. Show me the pictures. Show me any picture from a hidden camera. That was the story, remember? The story was that he was attempting to blackmail powerful people by hiding cameras all over Epstein Island, in bedrooms and in bathrooms and all sorts of places, massage rooms, and so that he could blackmail powerful people on behalf of Israel and the Mossad. Show me a picture. Show me a picture of anyone who seems unaware of the camera or anyone who's doing anything that they believe they could be blackmailed for. Show me. If the prince thought he could be blackmailed, why the hell would he pose for this picture? Seriously. If these girls These girls who went there, do these girls look like they are being trafficked against their will? This isn't even from Epstein Island. This video shows nothing other than a completely wholesome interaction between Mr. Epstein and somebody in his kitchen we don't know, and what looks like perhaps a child here at the edge of a pool. I have yet to see any evidence anywhere of anything that looks remotely criminal. And let me ask you this question. There's multiple pictures of Stephen Hawking at Epstein Island. What are you going to blackmail Stephen Hawking with? The man was wheelchair bound, couldn't even barely move his head, barely move his arms. What in the world are you going to get from that guy? What this shows to me is compassion. Why would Jeffrey Epstein bring Stephen Hawking to Epstein Island and take him down in a submarine and sit him by a beautiful beach and have girls walk around in bikinis with fruity cold drinks to share? Why would he do that? What would be in it for Jeffrey Epstein other than a sense of compassion for a man who was likely was going to die very, very soon? Can anyone explain this to me? Why do all of these girls look insanely happy? Why do they look like they're having so much fun? Why do they look like they wish they could be there forever? Why? Why does every interaction I see with him look wholesome if you take away the programming of the federal government? Right here at the end, I'll leave this with some. Go watch season 3 of a show called Colony. Not The Colony, Colony. We've talked about it before. Season 3, in the first few episodes, there's a guy who had stumbled upon a government plot. And they arrest him. And then they bring him into a room. And then they show him what they're going to tell the world about him. And not ever give him a chance to defend himself in public. I personally think we have all been lied to. I think we have all been lied to about this guy. I think we have been lied to about Epstein Island. I think we've been lied to about why he was disappeared. He knew something. And they were going to gin up a story. They were going to cook up a story to make him look like the worst individual in the world, so that anything he might say or might come out about what he might have said would be dismissed in the colorization of that. Why did I talk about Miranda Lambert? Because a lot of people who didn't know who Miranda Lambert was before now will say, oh, wait, Miranda Lambert. Oh, yeah, the country star that walked up and down stage with her rear end hanging out. That's all they're going to know about her. Tons of albums, tons of great music, very talented, but a huge amount of people are only going to know about that one moment, that one time, when people who were sitting literally below ankle level could see up the rear end of her skirt. Engagement farming 101. So I will leave it there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Join us on Patreon. Love to have you there. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.